and they might be saying, okay, all right, we're going to give people a break, and try to help them out. So what you want to do always is negotiate upfront for it to come off your credit report. I don't care if it's medical in nature. I don't care if it's a cell phone. I don't care if it's a cable bill. I don't care if it's a not a foreclosure, but a repossession from a car or whatever it is that you got this collection for. Always you want to negotiate for it to come off your credit report. That's the thing that's going to help you the most. And I said I don't care about it even being medical. Even if it's medical, even though you should know, and we've talked about it before, that medical collections, whether they come off or not, once it shows a zero balance, then it's no longer going to impact your credit score negatively. So you don't really have to worry about it coming off there. However, as a negotiations tactic, and if you ever are in the realm of negotiating, I don't care what it's for. If you're negotiating to buy a car, whatever it is, it's a good position to be in to have something on the table that you frankly don't care about. And you don't care if it comes off, if it's a medical collection, because your whole point and goal is to just help your credit score. So it doesn't matter if it comes off or not when it comes to medical collections. But all other collections, then you want it to come off your credit report because it's the other way. It doesn't do you much good at all to pay it and have it zero and it stay on your credit report, not for your credit score. It may be good for you. You might feel better about it. Maybe a mortgage company, you were trying to get a home, and the mortgage company said, hey, you got to pay this collection. So, cool. That's a means to an end. You got to pay this collection, and, it doesn't improve your credit score, but it needs to be zero. Then good. So you want to make sure that you always negotiate up front. That's what you want them to do. Maybe they do it, maybe they won't, but at least it's part of the negotiation that you have when it comes to that. So, again, I'm of two minds when it comes to this whole collection thing. It doesn't hurt if you've got the money. You've already have a strategy in place, and this is what you want to do. You want to pay off a collection. Doesn't hurt to give them a call. You're not obligated to take whatever deal that they say. I don't want you in there saying, okay, cool, I'll do it. I'll send you money on Friday, and you have no intention on doing it. You don't want to do that, but you want to give them a call and see what happens. See what happens. And then when that happens, let me know. Contact me. Let me know, how did your negotiations go? What happened? Let me know, how did it go? Contact me. Send me a text message. 312-600-5855. 312-600-5855, because I'd be very, very interested on how the whole collection thing goes for you in that regard. So do that. So that's a change. In addition to collections, let's continue with this. Here's another thing you absolutely need to know. We've been working off of, for eons, right? For eons, we've been working off of 30 days for them to investigate when you file a dispute. So if you're disputing one of those collections, you went to TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian, and you disputed a collection, we've been working off. If you do it online, you get 30 days to investigate, come back and say, hey, this is theirs, this is not theirs, so sorry, we got to take it off the credit report. We've been working on that assumption. You get 35 days if you use snail mail. You put it in the mail. You get 35 days. So we've been working off that assumption. So because of the whole coronavirus crisis and the fact that collection agencies may be working from home, but they also may be short-staffed and whatnot, they're going to extend that time. So I believe a couple of weeks ago I told you that the 30 days, 35 days is not as hard and fast as we think it is, because the credit bureaus always have the autonomy to elongate that a little bit for them, for the creditors if they wanted to. Well, now they're looking at 45 days. They get 45 days to investigate your dispute. So if you are in the middle of a dispute, you filed one, 20 days ago or what have you, I will put that in the realm of the whole coronavirus thing. And you're thinking, in 10 days or maybe 15 days, this is going to come off my credit report, or at least I'll have my investigation back. That may not be the case, because they have extended it for them for 45 days. Now, it's the 45 days a hard and fast thing. Since they already extended it, now you get 45 days, and we're not going to, let it go any longer than that. I have no idea at this particular point in time, but you should be aware of that because a lot of you guys are going to be calling and you're going to be asking, hey, what's going on with my credit report? I mean, not necessarily calling me, but you can call me too, right? Not necessarily calling me, but you might want to call TransUnion, Experian, or Equifax and say, hey, what's going on with my credit report? And then they'll notify you, hey, you put it in on this particular date. That was 28 days ago. Doesn't mean it's coming off your credit report because they're getting 45 days right now. So they haven't finished their investigation or whatever the case may be. So just know 45 days is what they have now at this particular point in time. So look, we're gonna do this. We're gonna pause for the calls for a second. Do something we haven't done in a while. We're gonna do a question of the day. Get out of here. We're gonna do a question of the day. We haven't done a question of the day since we've been back. We haven't done a question of the day, so I'm going to answer this question of the day. And actually, I don't even remember who it came from, so I apologize for not being able to shout you out. I don't remember who it came from. But we're going to do this question of the day, and so before we get to the question of the day, you guys, while you're sitting at home and you're looking at all your bills and you're trying to figure out what's what, especially if you're you're furloughed or you're laid off, you might not be going back to work for a little while. You're looking at your bills. You're wondering, like, what can I live with? What can I live without? How can I reduce this amount here right now and going forth? How can I do those kinds of things? Go check out Figures Wireless. I'm telling you, F as in Freddie, IGGERS. Go check out Figures Wireless. Go check them out and see what their plans are. Right now, they're running a huge special, like 50-60% off. They're running a huge special. If you bring your own phone, they're talking about taking money off of what your monthly payment would be. Talking about a unlimited package at $60, $60 a month for an unlimited package, unlimited text, unlimited calls. So go check out Figures Wireless for sure. They got a whole big old package. I want to say it's $299. Maybe it's $250. It's like $299. Big package. You get a phone. You get earbuds. You get a speaker that also is a wireless charger. Of course, you're going to get chargers as well for your devices. So go check out Figures. And you can use my code. The deals are so great. I don't even think my code is going to help you that much. I think like the deals are so much better, but use my code so they know that you got this information from the 800 Credit Score Man show. So my code is Credit Score, and you can go directly to orders, www.orders with an S -figures.com/credit score. You can go directly there, or when you get to the website and you go to checkout, put in my code Credit Score. Put in my code Credit Score, all one word, CREDITSCORE. Put in Credit Score. So here's the question of the day. That's figures.com. You guys go check them out. Question of the day. Are authorized users, when you become an authorized user, how does this impact your credit score in regards to an inquiry? So, the question came about because an individual, after going back and forth with them, I do remember this, just not their name and where they're from. So the question came about if I become an authorized user, how is this going to negatively impact my credit score, and specifically about an inquiry. So when you become an authorized user, that inquiry does not impact your credit. You do not get your typical inquiry when you become an authorized user. They're not looking, whatever company you're calling to become an authorized user on someone else's credit card, they are not looking at your stability and your credit to grant you credit. So that's why that does not impact you at all, and that's why there is no inquiry. So you don't have to worry about that. So for those of you, and I'm sure you all know what an authorized user is. So authorized user, you basically piggyback off of someone else's credit card. You want to go on somebody else's credit card. Sometimes it's actually just to help your credit. Other times it may be someone that you need to, share a credit card with. If it's your child or if it's your spouse, you can't always be there together with them and they're out at the grocery store or wherever they are and they need to use the card. Then being an authorized user will help them with that. They'll get their own card in their own name, but it's tied to the one account. You are the person that had the account first, so it's tied to that one account. And so as an authorized user, you allow them to use your card. You authorize them to use your card. So that's what happens. But on the back end, what it does happen, what helps is the person that is becoming the authorized user, they get the benefit of all of your payment history, how long you've had the card, all of those kinds of things, that the limit that you have versus what the balance is on there. So how good or how bad your credit utilization is, they get that benefit for as long as you've had the card. So not from the day that they become an authorized user. No, if you got that card back in 2012, they get it from 2012, even though they just became an authorized user today. So that's the benefit of the authorized user portion of it. But no, if you're going to quote unquote apply to become an authorized user on somebody's credit card, that inquiry is not going to show up on your credit report because it's technically not an inquiry, and you'll be perfectly fine. The benefit absolutely outweighs whatever negative it could be, even if there was an inquiry on your credit report. But there is no inquiry in that regard, so you do not have to worry about that. Here's what you want to do if you're going to be an authorized user, and here's what you want to check and make sure that's good. Optimally, like perfectly, in a perfect scenario, you want that card to be old. You absolutely want it to be older than whatever your credit age is, your length of history. You want it to be older than that for sure. But I mean, if you can get one and it's 10 years old, that would be great if you can get on a card that's 10 years old. If it's never had a late payment, that would be so perfect payment history, that would absolutely be great. And then on top of that, let's say they had a huge limit. Let's say they had a huge limit or a good limit or whatever you want to call it. So if they had $5,000 limit, a $10,000 limit, a $20,000 limit. One of my clients got on one that her brother had a $30,000 limit on a card and only owed $200. So if you can get something that's like, okay, all right, the credit utilization is really low. This person really doesn't use that card that much at all, or they always keep the credit utilization really low, under 30%, closer to 10%, then that would be perfect. That's absolutely perfect. That's what you want. Now, that doesn't mean if the person has a 50% credit utilization, but a perfect payment history, and the card's been around for 10, 12 years, doesn't mean that you don't jump on that card. Absolutely, you jump on that card. Credit utilizations, we can deal with. We can deal with credit utilizations. We can manipulate that. We can get the person to get an increase in their credit limit, or actually even pay down that credit balance. So we can get those things done. That we can manipulate. So that doesn't mean you don't get on it. It's just not perfect. It's just not optimal for what's going on and what you want to do. So that's the only thing about that. So make sure you do it. When I put my son on my credit card, I think I had like a 50% credit utilization at the time. So not optimal. Card was older than he was at the time. And it still is, right? The card was older than he was. Payment history was perfect. So 2 of the 3 things that we really want to happen, but the credit utilization was at 50% and nowhere near, the 30% at the particular time. And now that particular credit utilization is 0%. So that's great. That's good for him. And, congratulations, Cole, because you got a 780 credit score. You can thank your dad for that. Appreciate it. All right. So, that's it. That's it when it comes to the question of the day. So we got the question of the day in there, about an authorized user. Again, if you've got questions, send them to me. And I've done a horrible job this week and last week about like capturing the questions so I can bring them to the show. Like I said, it's just been a whole bunch of them. So I've been doing a horrible job about doing that the last couple of weeks. But send me your questions, 800@creditscoreman.com. And where else? Oh, and then, of course, you can hit me in the DMs on all of those other sites as well. And, of course, you can always join Credit Score Comeback, and you can ask questions in there. I'm not the only person that gives answers in there. So there are people, if you put out a general question or whatnot, that will respond to you in their opinion and their experience of what they've done and what they've been through about your question. So join Credit Score Comeback, 4 words, Credit Score Comeback, on Facebook as well, so you can get some of that information and the stuff I talked about today. That stuff is all